Welcome to the Tech Index AI podcast, July 21, 2026, where we blend tech IP data, reports, and charts with the latest news in all things logistics with a focus on air cargo. So today we are taking a deep dive into something that frankly feels a bit like, well, impossible math.
Yeah, it really does.
All right, like imagine booking a cross-country road trip and, the rental place gives you a huge discount on the exact same day that gas hits $5 a gallon.
Which makes absolutely zero sense, but that is exactly what we are seeing in global air cargo right now.
Exactly. So let's look at the TAC index data. The global Baltic air freight index just fell 3.1% this week.
Yeah, and I mean, that is the fourth successive drop, right? Even though, to be fair, we are still up 17% year over year.
Right, but the immediate slide is everywhere. Outbound Hong Kong dropped 6.3%, Shanghai dipped 1.1%, and Frankfurt fell 5.2%. But here is the kicker. Jet fuel prices are up a whopping 65.9% year over year. How on earth are freight rates falling while fuel is just exploding?
Well, it really comes down to the lag in how logistics contracts are structured. Supply chain managers are usually operating on, like, 30 or 60-day carrier agreements.
Oh, I see. So the fuel surcharge isn't calculated in real time.
Exactly. The spot market is dropping right now simply because those renewed contracts, the ones with that massive 66% fuel hike baked in, they just haven't hit the ledger yet.
Ah, okay. So the sting is definitely coming. It's just delayed.
Yeah. Though if you dig into the regional data, some areas are actually already feeling the heat.
Right, I saw that. Rates out of Chicago are actually up 2.5%, right? And those trans-Pacific routes from India, Vietnam, and Korea into the U.S. are firming up too.
Yep, those Asian routes are critical barometers. Manufacturers are rapidly shifting production into Vietnam and India to diversify away from traditional hubs.
Plus, you have all those e-commerce surges tightening up those specific lanes.
Exactly. It shows demand is incredibly resilient where it matters most, even inside a softer global average.
So if fuel costs aren't dictating these lower global rates quite yet, you have to wonder what happens when they finally catch up, especially considering the macro threats currently strangling the global oil supply.
Oh, absolutely. The pressure there is immense.
I mean, Brent crude just hit $89.22 a barrel, driven by basically a perfect storm of disruptions. You've got the escalated U.S.-Iran fighting.
Yeah, and then there is the declared Houthi naval blockade on Saudi Arabia, which is directly threatening shipping through the Red Sea and the Strait of Hormuz.
Right, major global choke points. And it is not just geopolitical conflict either. Chevron just had to shut down its U.S. Gulf platform due to tropical depression too.
Right. So, for anyone managing global supply chains right now, looking at a 3% rate drop might give a false sense of security.
A completely false sense, yeah.
Because if the Red Sea and Strait of Hormuz get completely choked off by those naval blockades, ocean freight becomes unviable. Shippers will panic, and all that emergency logistics volume will inevitably pivot.
It's going to pivot straight to air cargo.
You got it. Meaning this current dip in air rates is an absolute illusion. The market won't just adjust for the delayed fuel contracts. Prices will skyrocket from sheer emergency demand.
Okay, but that raises a million-dollar question for everyone listening. If massive ocean freight volumes suddenly pivot to the sky, do we actually have the physical capacity to move it?
Well, if you look at the Farnborough airshow this week, the order book suggests a massive influx of baseline capacities on the way.
Yeah, let's look at those numbers. SMBC ordered 400 Airbus A320neos, Riyadh Air grabbed 28 Boeing 787s, and Indigo just bought 1,000 LEP-1A engines.
Which is huge.
It is. And for those listening, those LEP engines power passenger planes, but passenger flights provide massive belly freight space for global air cargo.
Precisely. Those orders secure a robust pipeline of future belly freight and dedicated cargo capacity. The industry is planning for immense growth to handle exactly these kinds of macro shocks.
Sure, maybe in 2030. But Airbus and Boeing are currently grappling with severe supply chain constraints and production bottlenecks. They can't get parts. So isn't this massive capacity growth just an illusion on paper for shippers who need space today?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. That is the harsh reality of the manufacturing bottleneck.
Right, because an order on paper doesn't move a single pallet of cargo this afternoon.
Exactly. The manufacturers cannot physically build these jets fast enough to meet current timelines. So real-world air cargo capacity is going to remain incredibly tight for the foreseeable future.
Wow. So if you are mapping out your logistics strategy, you are looking at a delayed fuel shock, blocked sea routes forcing freight into the air, and new aircraft deliveries completely stalled on the assembly line. Which leaves you with this to consider. Is this week's 3.1% dip in air freight rates just the quiet calm before a historic capacity squeeze?
The data certainly points to a storm on the horizon.
Until next time.